welcome to the VitaCast, episode 85. I am your host, Tyler Oltoff, and with me as usual is Kyle Wakeling. What's up, Kyle?
Not too much, Tyler. Not too much.
That's
Finally
good.
getting to this podcast.
Yeah.
Nobody else knows, but this has been delayed twice.
Yep.
Due to dumb foreseen circumstances.
Well, let me explain, all right? So the first one, I was stuck at work, and I was expecting to actually be home maybe 10 or 15 minutes late. So I was like, I got this. All right, this is going to be easy. And then it turns out I didn't get home till 4 in the morning, and we normally record right around 2 o'clock, so it was pretty late. And I was like, well, I'm already way tired. I'm just going to go to sleep. But yeah, that was a fun day. And then, of course, we were supposed to record earlier today, and Skype just decided not to send in any of the messages to let us know that, hey, we're ready to record.
Pretty much.
So it's
I think
been fun.
we send so many messages that it's just sometimes it's nah, you can wait for that.
Yeah, I really should have sent you a message on Twitter. I don't know why I didn't think of that. Twitter
Yeah,
never
I'm
lets us
twiddling
down.
my thumbs over here because the other day you were late, so I'm like, when's he gonna get here?
Well, next time I'll remember to go through Twitter.
Indeed.
But anyways, VitaCast, we talk about the PlayStation Vita. What we've been playing is the first thing we talk about. So Kyle, what have you been playing?
Well, I've been playing quite a bit this week, actually. Went into the week, I'll get into the light talk about games first. Went into the week playing some Hot Shots Golf. Still trying to get all the extras and stuff on that game. It's really a grind to get the platinum, and I'm having a time. I don't think I've got a trophy in a long time, so it's been a while. And I'm still kind of at it, but it's part luck and part the game is so fucking hard that it's hard to get there on the top end. I need I think a handful of challenges for my crowns, and then I get a bunch of trophies, but I can't get them. But anyway, playing that. Playing Tetris, which is of course still my addiction. Got I think a new high score on haunted mode. So that was pretty cool. That's the one where you have to kind of memorize where everything is because it doesn't show you as the tetraminos fall. So it's kind of my favorite mode. But anywho, playing some of that, and of course I enjoyed that. Also played Squares this week, which just came out in North America this week. Really addictive and hard little game. Very simple kind of ideas and not a whole lot going on the screen, but when you're trying to do these challenges that they give you, it's pretty hard. They give you squares on the screen. Certain ones are double tap, certain ones are single tap, certain ones are don't tap. There's little maneuvers you got to do, slide them then touch them sometimes. There's a whole bunch of different things. And they give you a little kind of obstacle course to go through with these squares, and you have to do it in a certain amount of time. Some of them I was stuck on for hours doing it, and I'd try it 20 times, and I'd just set the thing down and sit here and do something else for 5 minutes, pick it back up and start jamming my thumbs at this game again. So some of them are pretty hard. We'll actually talk a little bit more about this in a review, but yeah, so there you go. Also, I just started Hatoful Boyfriend, so I'm dating some pigeons. It's been unique so far. I think just the laughs alone have been worth the play so far. I'm not very far in, but I've probably played about an hour and a half maybe of the game, and not rushing through it or anything, reading all the text and stuff, and it's pretty funny. There was a Pokemon reference that I actually tweeted out if some of you guys caught that on Twitter. Yeah, just I was laughing ridiculously hard. Seems like a very strange game, very visual novel based. There's not a whole lot going on with choices so far, but it's unique and it's funny. So and cheap. I think it's $10 here and £10 in the UK, so pretty cheap. But anywho, I'll be reviewing that one. So you'll have more on that one from me later as I get deeper in with these pigeons and their St. Pigeons Academy. But what have you been playing, Tyler?
Well, I finally got my real fishing review done, so I can put that game down. Yeah. So you'll hear a little bit more about that when we get into the reviews portion of this podcast. So yeah, I played that. I also played a tiny bit of Arno Surge Plus. Not too much again. Still very early in the game, and I'm enjoying it. It's a little weird, but I'm enjoying it. Kind of lost on what's going on, but at the same time, slowly getting an understanding of what's happening. So yeah, I need to play more of it. I also played another game of MLB 15 The Show, and I won, of course. I'm just that good.
Did you dive into the wall, though, Tyler?
I did. I didn't have to, like, my pitcher
Oh,
actually just...
skills!
They never hit the ball. I was just doing too good. Shutting people out. Anyways.
Oh, so you negated the need to even run for the wall.
Exactly. Or they hit a home run,
man.
so I was just like, well, there it goes. So, yeah, I played a little bit of that. And then I also played some Deception 4, The Nightmare Princess. Not a whole lot, like maybe 6 missions or whatever, and it's more of deception. So if you like that trap setting game and watch some hilarious people getting hurt by these said traps, then this is the game for you. To me, it wasn't super exciting. Like, there's a couple moments where I was laughing because of just the stupidness of the traps and how they would react to them. But, I mean, I don't know. I couldn't see myself playing, like, another 20 missions of the exact same thing. So I was like, well, all right. So there, yeah. And then I also played Squares like you did, Kyle, but I don't think I played as much as you did. But it's definitely really hard, and you can be stuck on a level pretty easily if you are not doing the right things. So, yeah, I think that's it, I believe. Hold on. Yep, that's all. But now that real fishing review is done, I can catch up on maybe a couple games. We'll see. You never know.
Nice.
So let's jump into those reviews, and I'm going to take the first one. That way I get my real fishing review, and I can talk about that. So first up, we've got 2013 Infected Wars, and that was reviewed by Liam, and he gave it a 1.8 out of 5. And he says, quote, 2013 Infected Wars is one of the weaker digital titles to hit the PlayStation Vita. It's too obvious at times that this is merely a port of an iOS game, and an old one at that. I'd recommend looking elsewhere for a cheap and enjoyable experience, end quote. Well, he did not like it.
It doesn't sound like it.
So, I don't think you ever picked this one up, right, Kyle?
No, I didn't, but I know you did.
I
so
did.
Why don't you tell us what you thought about that?
I actually thought it was okay. Like, it definitely wasn't anything like that wowed me. Like, I wasn't like, this is the best thing ever. But, I mean, it was a nice little time killer, and got to kill some zombies. But it definitely is an iOS feeling game. The zombies are very predictable and kind of boring, and I mean, they're just not exciting. But I mean, if you just want to kill some zombies and run around, then hey, there you go. But be careful though. I mean, it's your money, so.
If you want an alternative to that game, something along the same lines but not the same thing, is Duke Nukem 3D, and that's a pretty good game.
Yeah, that would probably be a much better bet than this one. So, yeah, there we go. Next one, Kyle, you want to take it?
Alrighty. Our next review was done by Zach, and he did Geometry Wars 3 Dimensions Evolved. He gave it a 4.4 out of 5, and he says, quote, Geometry Wars 3 is one of the best twin-stick shooters on the Vita. Even with some minor flaws, it warrants a buy for fans of the genre. So, high praise there from Zach. I haven't played this one yet, though I did tag it for download. What about you, Tyler?
Nah, this one's just, I don't know, not my style. It looks like it could be interesting, but I'm too busy with all these other games that I'm not too worried about grabbing this one.
I hear you.
So yeah, you'll have to let me know, Kyle, if you ever play it, what you think of it.
I will.
But hey, Zach gives it a great review, so we might be missing something.
Well, I'm not generally into twin stick shooters. I usually play one here and one there. But if it's a 4.4 to 5, might warrant me, giving it a try.
Yeah. Well, let's move on to the next review. We've got quite a few reviews here, so let's do the next one. Whispering Willows, which was reviewed by Brad, and he gives it a 2.8 out of 5. And he says, quote, Whispering Willows is an interesting adventure game that is over much too quickly. The story takes some time to get going, and the pacing is a bit slow throughout. Just as things start to get exciting, the end credits are soon rolling. The game mainly falls flat and never achieves to be anything more than a pleasant ghost story, end quote. That's a little disappointing because this was a game that I think both of us were slightly interested in, but it doesn't seem like it's worth it.
Yeah, it seems so. It might be one of those things that I pick up in like one of those deep flash sales or something just to give it a go.
Yeah.
Because it seems like it's not, 2.8 isn't a horrible score or anything. It's
No.
actually like a mid-range score, but with all these games, I've been mostly putting my time into stuff that's got, a little bit higher praise for it.
Right.
Just to kind of get things done. But yeah, I would pick it up probably if it was in like a flash sale or something like that. I'm just not into paying the full, I think, $10 or $12 for it.
Yeah. Well, I think it's actually on sale right now on PlayStation Plus.
I think it was like 12 for 10 on PlayStation Plus. Like that's why I was saying $10 or $12 because I think I saw those two prices.
Yeah, it's $10 right now on Plus,
Yeah.
$12.50 without Plus.
When it hits, sub $5, that's when I'll
Yeah.
figure out.
I guess the good thing though is if the story's somewhat over quickly, then maybe you could just get through it really easily and go, all right, well, that's another game done. All right.
Yeah, trophy hunting or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely read the full review if you are interested in this game. So next one, Kyle.
All right, moving on. Our next review is one kind of talked about earlier, and that's Squares, and it was reviewed by Zach, and he gave it a 3.6 out of 5, saying, quote, Squares is a fun, challenging game that is worthy of your time. As long as you don't expect it to hold your attention after completion, you won't be disappointed in the experience, end quote. So basically what he's talking about there is the fact that the game has 91 levels, and kind of when you're done those 91 levels, the only other thing to do is make your own levels, which only you can play right now. So I can understand where he's coming from when he's saying that the game has sort of a limited lifespan as far as, your time going towards it, because you kind of get to a point where you're like, okay, what am I even doing anymore? But at the same time, we reached out to Leap Games, and they said that they're actually adding support for your own levels being uploaded so other people can play them. So that'll be coming in the future. And even though it's a 3.6 out of 5, I'd recommend you get it because it's a pretty good game.
Yeah. Well, all right. Let's go to the next one. And this one's my review, and it is Real Fishing.
Not a pretty good game.
Yeah. Real Fishing Masters Challenge. And I gave it a 2.3 out of 5. And I said, quote, Real Fishing Masters Challenge did nothing to hook me. I found myself bored within the first few missions, and it just dragged on throughout my whole time with it. If you're really into fishing, then maybe you can find some joy in this one, but as it stands, I won't recommend anyone dive into this one. And I couldn't say it better myself.
Very true, very true.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like that summary is basically all you need to hear is the game doesn't do anything to really challenge you. It bores you right out of the gate. Like the first couple missions I played, I was like, okay, here we go. Let's catch some fish, and it was just like, great. This is the rest of the game. And yeah, it just not my cup of tea there. But if you're really into fishing, you can kill some time, I guess. But I'm not, so yeah. I don't think Kyle's would ever pick this up, Kyle, right?
Yeah, I probably wouldn't. There's that Let's Fish Hooked On game that's like an anime version of fishing.
Yeah.
I'd probably pick that up before I picked up real fishing.
Yeah.
Just because, yeah, I enjoyed, Let's Golf.
Yeah.
So Let's Fish is probably better than real fishing.
Yeah, I mean they also tried to put like a story into it, and it was just so awkward and lame and weird. So yeah, I don't know. Anyways, definitely read the full review if you want to hear a lot more about some fishing and the lack of a challenge. So yeah, Kyle, you want to take the last one?
Alrighty. So our last review of the week is Hyperdimension Neptunia Rebirth 3 V Generation, which was reviewed by Charlie, and he gave it a 3.9 out of 5, saying, quote, "With a story that is packed with video game references, humor, and interesting characters, Hyperdimension Neptunia Rebirth 3 V Generation is a game that I would recommend to any fan of RPGs. Although it is by no means perfect, this game kept me hooked throughout, and I think it's safe to say that I may frequent the world of Nep Nep more often now that my eyes have been opened to this franchise." End quote. So this was actually Charlie's first Hyperdimension Neptunia game, and he liked it so much that he's going to be going back for more. So that seems like pretty high praise, and a 3.9 isn't a bad score at all. I haven't played this, as I keep saying. I'm still on the first one. I think, Tyler, have you put time into this one, or?
Yeah, very little, but I don't know. I think they've just turned me off on these ones because every time I get into it, it's like 30 minutes of talking, and I'm just like, I'm bored out of my mind. Just let me play the game. And then I start playing the game, and it's the same thing as the other ones. It's like, well, nothing's changed. So for me, Charlie and I vary on this one. So it's not, again, not my cup of tea. So hey, read the full review. Maybe this one is your cup of tea.
There you go.
It was Charlie's.
Very true, very true. And he came into it blind because he had no idea about Hyperdimension when he went into it. Yeah. So other than writing the news stories, he had no idea.
Yeah. Well, all right, there you go. A ton of reviews for you to catch up on, and let's jump into some new releases. So first up, we got the North American list, and we've got Hatoful Boyfriend, which is $9.99, and Squares, which is $4.99. Kyle, what are we getting for Europe?
All right, so Europe gets Hatoful Boyfriend as well. I quoted the price wrong earlier. It's £7.99, €9.99 euros, or $14.95, sorry, Australian dollars. Also releasing is Mahjong Carnival, which is £4.99, €5.99 euros, or $8.95 Australian dollars. So if you're looking for something good, there's a couple releases at least this week, and I at least recommend Squares. So there you go.
All right, yeah, we kind of already talked about both the games and the new releases, so we don't really.
Yeah, and we have no idea about Mahjong Carnival. Nobody even knew that was coming. So
well, let us know, guys, what it's all about. Let's get into the news. We don't have too much, but hey, we had a lot of reviews, so we're already like a half an hour into this thing. Actually, not a half an hour, like 20 minutes. I'm over exaggerating. I'm tired. Anyways, the news. Let's do it. While some games recently have abandoned their Vita versions, others are actively trying to get on the platform. In a recent interview with Power Up Gaming, the creative heads at Enemy Entertainment have said that they are actively trying to get their upcoming dungeon crawler Etra onto the PlayStation Vita. I might be saying that wrong. Anyways.
I think it's Eater.
Eater?
Yeah.
All right. Well, Eater, whatever. David Wright, lead designer and gameplay director for Eater, stated that bringing the game to the Vita had always been part of their plan and hoped to make it happen. Currently, the game is slated to be coming to PC and PS4, but hopefully the Vita is not too far behind. The main reason for a lack of a Vita port at the moment is the lack of manpower. Enemy Entertainment is a two-man operation consisting of David Wright and his partner Toby Harper, but the team is very fond of the Vita and have stated that it's a terrific platform for any game such as theirs. Quote, "We're hoping to bring it to Vita and will be pushing a lot of efforts towards making it happen," end quote. Eater tells the story of the Shield Maiden who has her fate upended thanks to the mischievous god Loki. Now she must traverse the 9 Norse worlds to bring light back to Oh, here we go. Yggdrasil.
Yggdrasil, Tyler. Yggdrasil.
Yggdrasil, and discover the true nature of her fate. You will battle your way to gain favor with the gods as punishing enemies meet you at every turn. The more enemies you defeat, the more randomly generated loot you can pick up. If Dark Souls was around in the 16-bit era, Eater is probably what it would look like. The game is slated for release sometime in 2016, and fingers crossed that a Vita version is not too far behind.
I actually heard from a little birdie back at E3 that they were looking into this, so I'm hoping that it's true.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Sounds interesting. So let's jump into the next story. Rise of Mana is quickly approaching its Japanese release date, and some more information has been revealed in the lead to its release date, including some interesting guest appearances. So if you haven't guessed yet, Rise of Mana is part of the Mana series, which contains the classic Sword of Mana, and in order to maintain the series' roots, the game will feature some new bosses which are actually characters from the JRPG classic. Randy, Prim, and Popey all appear in a boss battle which will net players a Defender Sword as a reward. The characters also appear as SR rank pets, which are essentially unlockable support characters that you can buy. These are random upon buying them, so you've got to be lucky to get the one you want. That's all we've got on Rise of Mana for now, but stay tuned to the Vita Lounge as we eagerly hope the game comes west. Next up, Senran Kagura series creator Kenichiro Takaki took to Twitter recently to share some new images from the upcoming Ayama DLC with us. Brought in from Senran Kagura New Wave G-Burst, Ayama... I just said it and now I can't even say it now.
Ayami
is reportedly a character that is made for beginners and doesn't really come with any unique features, taking quite a few cues from Katsuragi if the photos released are any indication. That said, any new characters or DLC is always a good thing, in my eyes, especially if reasonably priced, and you'll be able to download her add-on for 600 yen when it releases in Japan sometime later this month. Oh, there's more to it. That was weird. Anyways, we've also heard that the Dual Flowers Provision Chronicle story mode has been confirmed for release alongside the Ayami DLC and will be free for the first 10 days. This new story mode will focus on 2 characters while having 11 different gameplay options depending on which ladies you pair up. Senran Kagura Estival Versus is already available in Japan and will be coming west to North America sometime this winter. No European release has been confirmed, but we're pretty sure it's in the cards.
Yeah. Moving on. Never Alone, the game that is part puzzle, platformer, and part documentary, has been announced as coming to the PlayStation Vita this fall. The game stars an Alaskan girl named Nuna who befriends an adorable Arctic fox. Together they must help each other as they traverse the snow and ice of harsh Alaskan winter. It's a retelling of an indigenous Alaskan tale about how a young girl went out to discover the source of an eternal blizzard. Players switch between playing as the girl and the fox to utilize each of their unique abilities in order to solve various environmental puzzles. Never Alone was also conceived to be a learning tool, and as you progress through the game, you unlock various documentary videos which prove to be almost as entertaining as the game itself. These short videos highlight aspects of the Alaskan culture and how the people would hunt and live in order to survive in such a harsh climate. The game originally launched last fall on various other platforms, but will now be arriving on Vita this fall. We'll have more information on the launch when it becomes available.
I remember last year at PAX, I bugged them about this coming into Vita, so just it's because of us. No, I'm just
Tyler did it.
Yeah, I talked to them. I was like, "So Vita," and they're like, "We're thinking about it," and I was like, "Do it." So hey,
awesome.
I'm excited.
Moving on. Gust have released new details on Atelier Sophie's synthesis system, which allows players to customize Placha as well as craft new items by mixing items together. In the synthesis system, there are also bonus slots, which will add additional attributes to the items that you craft. Synthesis is a major point of the game, and players will spend a good chunk of the game collecting items to mix together in the synthesis system. As Sophie meets Flatcha in the game, she becomes more interested in learning about synthesis. Stay tuned to the Vita Lounge for further news on Atelier Sophie, Alchemist of the Mysterious Book as we get it, as I am sure this is just the tip of the iceberg. Next up, Silicon Era is reporting that Vanillaware, creator of the excellent Vita titles Dragon Crown and Muramasa Rebirth, is teaming up with Atlas again to bring its classic title Odin Sphere to PS4, PS3, and Vita under the name Odin Sphere Leaf Thracier. Much like Muramasa Rebirth, which was originally a Wii title, Odin Sphere won't be a straight port with some HD flair, as gameplay systems will be recreated and modernized. Odin Sphere Leaf Thracier releases on January 14th in Japan, priced at 7,980 yen. No information on when or if this port will make it west was given.
Alright, next up, Hyperdimension Neptunia Victory 2's Uzumi, whatever, has been revealed to be joining to fight against the undead in Extreme Dimensions Tag Blanc plus Neptune vs. Zombie Army. Featuring an inverted version of Neptune's personality, she's normal, tough, but gets cheery once she transforms. Uzumi joins the fight as a tag team duo with Neptune. This means that you can fight as either of the girls at any time, including their transformations Orange Heart or Purple Heart, through the return of the two characters switching system. Extreme Dimensions Tag Blanc plus Neptune vs. Zombie Army is due out in Japan sometime later this year, with no news on the possibility of a Western localization. Next up, an Idolmaster x Taiko Drum Master crossover game has been announced for release in Japan by Bandai Namco. Known as the Idolmaster Must-Songs Red Board and Blue Board, this new crossover title from Bandai Namco features songs from the past 10 years of Idolmaster games, including fan favorites such as I Must Go, Go My Way, Ready, and many more. The Idolmaster Must-Songs Red Board and Blue Board is due out in Japan sometime this winter, with no word on the possibility of a localization. Next up, a new update has been issued for Helldivers. Yes, a game I can read the names to, bringing the game into version 3.01 and adding something many of you have been asking for. That's right, folks. The day has finally come where you can bust out some Helldivers action on the PlayStation TV. The 27 megabyte update to version 3.01 dropped earlier this week and has given us the gift of micro-console compatibility, along with some other fixes and changes. So they added ranks 28, 29, and 30. New visual customization set awards at level 28, 29, and 30. PlayStation TV support. And fixed issues with people not being awarded their extraction stars, various host migration issues, issues with the arc shotgun not counting accuracy, various crash issues, game stability should be improved, and various other minor fixes. The Helldivers update is available now in North America and Europe, so get downloading and start using those PlayStation TVs to fight them for democracy.
Aw, yeah. Yet another Gundam title has been announced for release on PlayStation Vita in Japan. This week's Famitsu has revealed that another strategic Gundam title will be making its way to Vita in the form of Gundam Conquest V, a port of the popular smartphone game Gundam Conquest. Details are pretty thin at this point, but we have heard that the game will be getting new battlefields in the jump to Vita, and we're fairly sure that won't be the only change. More news on Gundam Conquest V is sure to come, but for now that's the whole shebang, so stay tuned. Next up, Bit Up is an upcoming side-scrolling hack-and-slash game that we now have some more details on. The game takes place inside an abandoned 1990s video game and has you taking the control of a samurai protagonist, attempting to find answers inside the world. The world will have a blocky look to it and is meant to show that what it would look like to the characters inside of it. It has a 3D look inspired by cubism and is a world made of cubes. Not much has been revealed story-wise, but a fake E3 1996 interview question from the game's fictional creator Maxime Levesque has given us a bit of context to the world. Quote, "This is the only statement I will make regarding Bit Up. It's a mistake. I've decided to stop its development and leave the industry altogether. The decision comes out of personal motives." End quote. We'll have to wait until 2016 to uncover the mysterious world of Vita, but for more news on the game, be sure to stay tuned to the Vita Lounge. And we move on to some release date bits. So this stuff's mostly covering release dates, so if you're interested in those kind of things, stay tuned. We have some good news for those looking forward to the release of Net High. It'll be hitting Japan late this November. For those who don't know, Net High is a game where players are put into a not distant future, one in which Japan has become a dystopia, and citizens must use government-mandated social network to succeed in life and prove they are living a healthy lifestyle. However, it is known that some users abuse the network, making fraudulent portrayals of real life on it. In the role of the player, your goal is to expose their fraud and humiliate them. Playing as Ureshi, the man tasked with investigating these cases, the game progresses in two ways. First, you must gather information on the social networking site, and then you will engage in flame wars to expose his truth. If Net High is you itching to expose frauds, be sure to keep an eye out for more information.
That's such a weird sounding game.
It is.
Anyways, next up, have you been following the development of Nova 111? We have, and we can now reveal that the sci-fi adventure title will be landing on August 25th. Developed by Functronic Labs and brought to the PlayStation by the awesome team at Curve Studios, Nova 111 is a turn-based adventure title mixed with a twist of real-time action. In your quest to restore the flow of time, you will explore alien worlds and defeat fiendish alien creatures, all in the name of science. Piloting the Nova spaceship, which is a harmless research vessel, you will traverse mysterious foreign worlds with a simple mission: fix space-time and locate the 111 brilliant scientists that were lost following the aftermath of the universe's greatest science experiment, which went horribly wrong, creating a vortex mashing real-time and turn-based universes together. Nova 111 features include innovative gameplay, clever mix of turn-based and real-time gameplay, beautifully crafted planets, each with its own unique enemies, environments, and strategies, strategic combat, I'm cutting out right here, fight smart brains beat brawn, mind-warping puzzles designed to melt your brain, cool abilities like the time stop to bend time to your will, ship upgrades, collect upgrades and modules for your ship, dynamic soundtrack, music suited to your playstyle, science, because who doesn't like scientific progress? That's all we've got for now, but we will be sure to bring you more news and a review closer to the release. Been wondering whether Europeans would be getting a slice of the action with Super Beat Exonic? Well, wonder no more, as the game has been confirmed to be coming to European shores this autumn thanks to publisher Rising Star Games. The successor to the DJ Max series was only originally confirmed for US and Japanese release, but thankfully Rising Star Games have confirmed that the game will come to Europe in both physical and digital formats. Excited? You should be.
All right, and we're at the end of the news, so here we go, guys. Back in April, Atlas announced that they would be bringing their RPG, Dungeon Travelers 2, the Royal Library and Monster Seal, to the West this summer, and now we have an accurate, concrete release date. North American Vita owners can get their hands on the Dungeon Crawler on August 18th, with European release date set for this autumn. Accompanying this announcement was a new trailer, which once again details the different classes available for the game. Last month we brought you details of intermediate classes, and Atlas has now given us further details on advanced classes. You can watch the trailer on the site, but here's the full list of advanced classes. We have the Fighter, Valkyrie, Samurai, Dark Lord, Magic User, Witch, Magical Princess, that's Tyler, Sage, Bishop, Scout, Sniper, Treasure Hunter, Kunoichi, Maid, Diva,
That's
Mistress. Yeah, I am kind of a diva. Mistress, Étoile, Spieler, Soul Summoner, Papillon, and Joker. I'm kind of a Joker too. The question now becomes, which class will you be aiming for? And the very last piece of news. A few months ago, we got confirmation that BlazBlue Chrono Phantasma would be launching in North America on July 28th. But as usual with these games, a European release wasn't even mentioned. Publisher P-Cube took to Twitter this week, however, to announce both that Europe will be getting Chrono Phantasma and it will be launching sometime this year. There isn't a set date yet, so in the meantime, why not hear some of Chrono Phantasma's features, courtesy of P-Cube. It has 28 playable characters, including newcomer Cecilia A. Mercury and fan favorite Lambda. The full story so far, BlazBlue Chrono Phantasma Extend, features both the original Calamity Trigger and Continuum Shift stories. Remix Heart, all new scenarios dedicated to the girls of BlazBlue, bringing lighthearted comedy and fan service to BlazBlue's already exhaustive story features. Incredible art and animation, no other fighting game comes close to the sheer spectacle of BlazBlue in motion, as fights play out through thousands of frames of animation and effects. My Room feature brings customizable lobbies to up to 64 players. Play, match make, and spectate from the comfort of your personalized online lobby. Can't speak, apparently. Outstanding tutorials. Arc System Works leads the way in creating simple tools that can take a total novice and train them in the dark art of fighting game combos. And over 30 hours of single-player gameplay, from story to arcade mode, the RPG Light Abyss mode, and hardcore Unlimited Mars mode. BlazBlue crams in more single-player content than any other fighter. Those in Europe who have been anticipating Chrono Phantasma can finally let go of their breaths and enjoy the wait. And that's the news.
Well, all right. It's about time.
Indeed, indeed.
Well, let's jump into those talking points, Kyle. What do we got?
All right, as usual, Tyler, we have announced the release games we're looking forward to from the week. So, what looks good?
Well, Senran Kagura Estival Versus, even though I still need to finish the first one, and I'm lazy. So, eventually. Also, Nova 111 sounds very interesting. And it hasn't been on my list, but after reading that story, it kind of was like, interesting. It actually might be something I might want to dive into. What else from the news? I don't know if there's probably something I'm missing. Oh, yeah, Never Alone. I'm excited for that one. I played a little bit of it on PS4 with my girlfriend, and she was upset when I told her that it wasn't coming to the Vita back when we first started playing it. She's like, I don't want to play it on the PS4. And I was like, well, it's our only option, but not anymore. So, yeah, I'm excited for that. And then, of course, all the stuff that we always talk about that doesn't always make it in the news, but, you've got the Digimons, you've got the Lost Dimensions, you've got Persona 4 Dancing All Night, tons more. So, what about you, Kyle?
All right. Simply looking at what we talked about, Eater looks good, especially that they described it as Dark Souls in 16-bit. That's pretty awesome sounding. So I'm interested in that for sure. Senran Kagura Estival Versus, of course, because me and the Estival Versus booby girls. Also, Never Alone sounds really interesting. I hadn't actually paid too much attention to it before just because it wasn't coming to Vita, and that's my primary platform pretty much. So I was like, meh. But now that I've heard a little bit about it, and it is coming to Vita, I think I'll be down. Also, Nova 111, as you were saying, and Paul actually, I believe, got his hands on it and said it's pretty good. So that as well. Beep, beep. And I'm always looking for new rhythm games, so I might have a look at Super Beat Sonic closer to release as well. But I think that's pretty much it from this week.
Nice. There's always something, Kyle, that we're waiting for.
There is. And
that's the best part.
It is the best part.
Well, let's jump into the next thing, Kyle. What do we got here? What is this?
All right, so this is kind of a talking point and kind of something that's news as well. But it's kind of something that we wanted to share with you just in case you're one of those people that might have missed something at the end there with PlayStation Mobile. So, our newest writer, or one of our newest writers, Jimmy, actually wrote an article, and the article is called you can still buy some PlayStation mobile games. Now, it's kind of a bit of a workaround because there's a bunch of catches. But the basic of it is this. Even though they shut down the PlayStation Mobile Store, everything's kind of still there. There's just no store to access anything. So if you know anybody who's bought PlayStation Mobile games recently and they're in your timeline as your friend, you can actually go to that item on the timeline, touch the icon for the game, and it'll bring you right into that link in the PlayStation Mobile Store, and you can actually buy the game still. So I don't know how long this is going to last. It could even be gone right now. I have no idea because I don't look at this stuff myself. But they actually have a way. So if you know anybody who's bought PlayStation Mobile games and you're still looking to get a couple, or you missed something, or whatever the deal is, search through your friends list and their timelines and click on those icons because they'll take you to the store and apparently let you buy the games. So kind of a workaround, kind of a trick. But, some people like that PlayStation Mobile.
Yeah, there's a few winners in there. That it sucks that if you don't have a friend that has that game or bought it recently, then you'll never be able to play it unless you play it on like a smartphone somewhere else. So. But hey, at least there's somewhat of a way to do it. Maybe.
Until that's gone.
Yeah. So that is interesting though. It's kind of weird. But hey, whatever. So yeah, that's all our talking points, right?
Yes, it is.
Well, all right, let's jump into the listener mail. We've only got 2 questions, but from the same person. So, Non-Skippo, he's always there for us whenever we need a question. So, he asked first, did any of you watch the movie Pixels? Why or why not? Kyle.
No, and because I've never heard of it.
Really?
Yeah, really.
So it's just now, I think it just came out. I don't know if it was this last weekend, or actually, I didn't think it was actually out yet, but apparently it is. But it's about, aliens invading planet Earth in the shape of video game characters. So, you've got a giant-ass Pac-Man, destroying the city, and,
So basically it's that Futurama episode.
Yeah, pretty much. So it looks really funny. I don't think it's gonna be the best movie ever, but I think it'd just be kind of cool to watch it and be like, oh, I know that video game. Oh, that game. Oh, sweet. Kind of just see a whole bunch of video games and stuff.
Yeah, hearing about it kind of makes me want to watch it.
Yeah. The only downside, I'm not the biggest Adam Sandler fan, and he's the main person in it.
I don't mind Adam Sandler.
He was funny back in the day, but now it's man. But it's not going to stop me from watching the movie and enjoying it. So, but that's just my gripe. Anyways, yeah. For me, I will probably see it. I just haven't had the time yet.
I didn't know about it, but now that I'm interested, I'll probably end up seeing it.
I actually just saw Ant-Man.
Oh yeah, how was that?
It was actually really good. I did not care about it at all. When I saw the previews for it, I was like, screw that. That looks so stupid. I was like, an Ant-Man? Are you kidding me? But a friend used her free movie pass or whatever, and we went and saw it, and I was like, that was actually really good. It was really funny and whatnot. But anyways, yeah. This is a Vita cast. I don't want to go too into movies. But anyways.
It's okay to get a little off topic sometimes.
Yeah. Anywho, the next question he asks is, if a live-action movie could be made about a real-life story about the video game industry, which one should it be?
Wow, that's kind of a loaded question. If a live-action movie could be made about a real-life story about the video game industry, what's a real-life story about the video game industry? Some nerds playing some video games in their room? Like us, Tyler?
Yeah. Make a movie about us.
The Vita Lounge, the movie.
There we go.
I'd watch it.
Who would play you, Kyle?
I don't know. Who's awesome?
I don't know.
Well, who would play you, Tyler?
Well, I've got blonde hair, and I'm extremely buff. I'm just kidding. I'm not. I don't know. Who's got blonde hair? That's famous. That dude from the guy that plays Thor. He's blonde. But I'm not as buff as him.
Hemsworth? Yeah, you're not as buff. But maybe his little brother kind of looks like him and has like kind of blondish hair.
Well, maybe one of them. I'll ask them. We hang out every once in a while.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
I'm thinking maybe somebody awesome like The Rock should play me.
There you go.
Because he's funny and he's tough looking, and I'm not like as tough looking as The Rock, but I'm probably more tough looking than you are.
Maybe a little bit, yeah. Hey, if my person's Thor, then I guess who's gonna win, right?
Well, yeah, it's The Rock. Don't crush him.
Anyways,
Rock beats favorite bitch.
Okay. Anyways, we're probably not answering this question seriously at all, but
well, I don't really know what real life story about video game industry. Like I could imagine something, but a lot of it's kind of been done, like indie game, the movie kind of stuff.
Right.
I don't know, because it is like indie gamers and indie like people who are developing indie games are probably the best ones to follow as far as an interesting story, because the farther kind of up you go in ranks, like if you go to Ubisoft or something like that, it's very, little teams of doing this and that and the other thing. Like, how would you do a movie about that? It's like, okay, these people over here are working on this kind of, coding for this part of the game, and these, like, it's not, there's no cohesion. Whereas, like, if somebody who's an indie developer is working on a game, they're kind of doing it piece by piece and building something, instead of it's all the pieces are scattered and it kind of comes together at the end.
Yeah. Well, what if instead of going into the development side, what if it was like a movie about like the media, like what the media portrays games as, and how they handle the things? Because when you watch
that might be interesting, like a documentary on how the media portrays gaming or something like that, as far as right now, because they could especially look at things like Wii U and Vita, where it's like kind of the underdog, but it's doing well at the same time, but not to everyone's standards kind of thing.
Right.
There's kind of like a weird, like little niche area that these consoles fit into, that they're niche, but they're so supportive that it drives, creativity.
Right.
So it's just kind of, it's kind of an odd situation where we're in right now that we kind of haven't been in before.
Well, there we go. There's the movie idea, Kyle.
There you go.
Let's hire
there you go,
The Rock and that dude, the blonde dude.
The young Hemsworth brother.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, sounds like a plan.
Well, all right. Thanks, Nonskippo, for your interesting question. Sorry if we totally
went off
topic. Yeah. But yeah, that would be all our listener mail. It's kind of slow this week, but hey, that means next week's going to have great questions. Right, guys?
Hopefully.
Right.
Sons of bitches.
Well, we would be jumping into the Guess That Game, but sadly, because of the whole thing with me being late yesterday, Liam was not able to join today. He was going to be there yesterday, so we would have done it, but hopefully next week we can get him in and Kyle can destroy him. So. So yeah, we're going to go to the next thing, which would be Check This Out. And this is where we choose a game or some type of thing related to the Vita that we think you should check out. So the game I'm going to suggest came out somewhat recently. It was actually last month, and I reviewed it. Kyle, can you guess what it is?
A game that came out last month and you reviewed it.
Yep.
Shit, I don't even know what games came out yesterday.
Oh, man. I'll give you a hint, Kyle.
All right, hit me. Oh, okay, that's a pretty good hint. So basically, you're recommending Lego Jurassic World, right?
Yep. I'm glad you got that from that terrible, terrible growl.
It sounded like a dinosaur, No, it's just like, a compy, not a velociraptor.
I was going for raptor, but I didn't want to be too loud, so the dogs would start barking. So they'd be like, "Oh shit, there's a dinosaur in the house!" So yeah, there you go. Lego Jurassic World. It's a fun game. I platinumed the game. If you're into Lego games, then you definitely won't be disappointed in this one. But it is full of spoilers, so you need to make sure you've seen all 4 movies. That's the only thing that might hold you back. So, but yeah, go check it out. Kyle, you gonna get it?
I'm still planning on it. Probably gonna wait for a little price drop, but
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
all right. So yeah, no threads, Kyle. No threads to look at.
No, I couldn't really find anything, new this week that's of note. So as usual, there's probably some game threads that have been updated or, are recent that you should probably check into. And there's always things like, the PlayStation TV compatibility list and my game list that, you should be checking every once in a while just to see what's going on.
Yeah, do that.
Yeah.
Well, all right, that's all we got for this week. So let's get out of here, Kyle.
Absolutely.
So, if you've got listener mail or comments, contact us via media services at thevitalounge.net. You can find everything we talked about today at thevitalounge.net. News, reviews, featured articles, store updates, the podcast, a community forum, and a magazine, both digital and physical, which didn't we just make it's the 3rd issue, right?
Yes, the 3rd issue is actually going out, and some people have already got their physical copies already, and is now available to the public. So if you didn't subscribe to our Patreon and you're looking to get your free version of the e-mag, you can grab that now. Or if you subscribe to our Patreon and are waiting for a physical copy, it's on its way.
Well, there you go. So you can support the site and get physical copies of the magazine via patreon.com/thevitalounge. We're all on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. You can find us on Twitter at thevitalounge. I'm saying that too much. At thevitalounge. I'm at Mr. PSVITA Reviews. Kyle is at Teflon Tactics. Facebook, just search the Vita Lounge. YouTube.com/loungeplay. We post up the Lounge Plays, the podcast, previews for the month, releases, and anything else that we decide. This podcast is available on iTunes, Podbean, Stitcher, YouTube, and via direct download on the site. So subscribe to us there, rate us, and let us know how we're doing. That's it. Kyle, sing us a song.
Yeah, not gonna happen.
Wow, you really let us down.
Biggity bam the end, Tyler.
I'm so hurt right now. I can't. Well, alright. Senran Kagura.
Estable versus.